Good evening, we are here with part 36 of Condensed Chaos by Phil Hine. Witches, wizards, warlocks, magicians, magus, and magi, let us enter the armory and speak on magical weapons. The above are just a few of the possibilities for using everyday objects in sorcery practice. In addition, there are the more formal weapons of modern magic, being the dagger, the wand, the chalice, the pentacle, and the lamp. It is possible to discourse at length on the symbolism which has grown up around each of these items, but I'm not going to, as you don't need to have digested heaps of symbolism to make effective use of them. The wand or staff is a physical representation of the act of projecting one's will force, intentionality, directed along a given vector. The key to understanding the magical will is in the concept of unity of desire, whereas the swearing of oaths, promises, and abstinations serves only to set up the conflicts within the mind. The magician seeks unity of desire before he acts, hence the importance of preparation in acts of sorcery. The wand also represents the initial drive to begin a project. The dagger is often used in ritual magic as an extension of one's finger. It is used to draw sigils, pentagrams, and other magical symbols in the air. To the dagger is attributed the qualities of analysis and discrimination. Any magical dagger is thus only as effective as your own skill at analysis and discrimination. Whether this is applied to yourself or a situation, hence the importance of planning and breaking down a goal into its constituent steps and elements. The chalice is used as a physical receptacle of transmission. Thus, it may be used in ritual to hold wine or other fluid, which is first charged by an act of invocation and then consumed by the celebrants. Or it can be used for scrying. Thus, to the chalice is attributed all techniques whereby perception is unhindered by the internal dialogue or by lust for a result, such as oracular states of consciousness, the use of tarot, dreaming, or mental silence. The pentacle represents the process of synthesis and is the object whereupon the results of one's magical work are made manifest and understood. In rituals, objects which are to be charged with magical power will be placed upon a pentacle. Finally, the lamp is the physical representation of inspiration. It often appears in the form of a light bulb over the head of a cartoon character. In traditional Western magic, the idea of Godhead or the holy guardian angel are two aspects of the lamp weapon, although it could just as easily be a primitive fetish object or a symbol which over time one comes to associate with gnosis and inspiration. It is important to remember that the development of the requisite qualities are more useful than the physical shells which serve to encapsulate them. There is an old adage that magical weapons should either be made by their user, given to them, or at least found in unusual ways. Equally, the act of saving money so that you can buy an item of occult equipment, especially if you have made some kind of sacrifice, such as walking to work, will also confer the association of specialness upon it. While it can be useful to have physical weapons for use in ritual, it is also instructive to understand their operation in other spheres. For example, my desire to write and the decision to write about sorcery is the operation of the wand. The use of language to order and analyze my thoughts, the act of writing itself, is the dagger. The computer screen upon which my words appear to me, prompting new ideas and associations even as I write, is the chalice, and the resulting printout, which manifests the whole, is the pentacle. The lamp in this case is any form of illuminatory technique which I use to aid the free flow of creativity. Like any game, sorcery relies more on the qualities and skill of the player rather than the physical surroundings or the equipment being used. Similarly, both games and magic have an absurd quality about them. You may find it incredible that other people seem to invest so much importance in the outcome of a football game, yet have no problem yourself believing that scratching planetary symbols onto a candle will bring about a change in the world. Alternatively, you might vociferously champion your own team and wonder what the fuss is about when batty occultists argue over who has the authentic magical tradition. But both sorcery and games require practice, suspension of disbelief, and gnosis, the cessation of the internal dialogue which may last from a few seconds to several hours. That was a crazy word. Responsive sorcery. To be effective, your approach to sorcery needs to be responsive to changes in your life situation. It can best be understood as not so much an approach to getting a free lunch out of the universe, but as an approach to maximizing your effectiveness within different spheres of action. For example, there is little point in enchanting for a new job if you lack confidence to the extent that you are going to blow each interview that you work for. It is often said that magic seems to work through the easiest route possible, and this should be borne into mind. Finally, in this introduction to sorcery, I want to look at some popular areas of sorcery intervention. Alright, we're going to stop there and we will return tomorrow with more Condensed Chaos. Hope you enjoyed that.